Was that it for the intro?
That's it, man.
Oh, okay.
Make sure they all good.
Yes. I want to welcome you all to the You Wasn't Outside podcast. I'm one of the hosts not doing the most, normal ass Carl.
Normal ass Carl in the mix.
Man, I'm one of your hosts not doing the most, normal ass Carl. To my front, I have my man at Just Lex. What's going on, man?
Normal ass Carl and Just Lex.
I don't know. I feel like I ain't seen people in a while.
Oh, your job's still not allowing people to come in?
No, they are. When people, I mean you.
Oh, yeah, it's been a minute, man. About 2 weeks. My daughter had my daughter. No, that's a long time, man. When you see somebody all the time, like imagine not seeing your wife for 2 weeks. You be like, all right, wait, something's up, something's different.
I got a theory about this Miami trip when we get to it. I'll hold it though.
Oh man, that's funny. I don't know why that's so funny to me, but that's hilarious, man. So, yo, you know what? I have something here at the top half that I said that we was going to talk about, man, and make sure that I got this in here. So I got this friend, and we've talked about this previously before. I got this friend. He's very on the whim, very high energy, and it's funny. This is a funny story because I just wanted to just like get us in the potting mood, get us back right. So he's turning 40 this year. And he's like, yo, I'm either going to come to San Diego. Y'all could come out here and mess with me in the Bay, or we go somewhere else. If I say the Bay, you'll probably know who I'm talking about. So I'm like, oh, go to the Bay. So he hits me and he's the worst. Like, like if he could live in a hostel or a hostel, he would. Right? You know what I mean? Like he's very spare of the moment. He makes a lot of spare of the moment decisions. Doesn't work for me.
Very what?
Spare of the moment.
Spur.
Spare of the moment too. That works.
Spare of the moment.
Spare of the moment.
That's a funny ass title already.
Spur of the moment. I swear, spare of the moment.
Huh?
Spare of the moment.
All right.
What a spur.
You got it, man. It's your world.
I know. I want to know what your world thinks.
I always thought it was spur of the moment.
All right, we're gonna have to look that up.
I don't think
we'll just keep alternating them. I don't know what a spur is. What is a spur?
Them shits on the cowboy boots.
What does that have to do with a moment?
I don't know.
See, this is the thing. Like when you start breaking down, I was really thinking about like what old people used to say.
Ahead, do your
like my mom used to be like, "Oh, I be dipped in shit," and I'm like, "Yo, what does that mean? like who was dipped in shit?"
Finish story, man. Before I ask you if you got them shorts half off. Or not.
So he's like, yeah, I want you guys to come out to the Bay. I said, all right, cool. So a month ago, I bought my ticket, right? Got it for a very good price. No, it was $50.
I know, man.
What? You don't like going nowhere?
Nah, man. Just the statements came in. I saw some plane tickets. I was like, how many people is that for? She was like, one. I was like, so don't put it in your face how many.
Well, why don't you need to just go on the trip? It's a good bill. Because I'm you in a sense. If you were looking for a flight, you'd probably fly red eye if it was cheaper. Yeah. Like, hey guys, I'm getting in at 1 a.m. and that's fine. Like I'm just saying, like I search for deals with you. So he's like, yeah, so we're gonna do this, and this. So on March 18th, that weekend, I won't be here, right? I'm going to, the Bay to go mess with him. As of 2 days ago, he still hadn't secured an Airbnb, right? And I said, yo, like, we're going to the Bay, dog. Like, it's expensive, right? I know how expensive the Bay Area is. So I'm like, bro, we need to secure a place right now. I'm looking at Oakland prices and they charging like $150. I'm like, dog. It make you sick.
Dog, I'm not going up there to hang out in Oakland.
And I know, but I'm just looking because he was like, "Oh, choose like East Bay area," and East Bay is it's like from my house to your house is like how far Oakland is from like the East Bay area. So I'm like, dog, why don't you have a room? Well, I was looking at this house. It's $1,000. I was like, yo, I'm doing the math. I was like, it's three of us. Why are we spending $1,000 on a house that we not gonna be staying in? See, this is where my point is like my point of all this is people be on different pages in terms of like money and everything else. And I told him, I said, look, if you don't have the cash on you right now, bro, I'll give you the money or whatever you need. Our other friend will give you the money too. And whenever you have the time to, pay your half or whatever, you can. But here's the cash right here. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, I don't know about that. And he was like, now I just wanted to ask you this because this seemed crazy to me when he said it as a 40-year-old man. He said, well, my mom's coming, right? And so is my other friend. And I want us all to stay in a house together, kind of like old times, like live like in a commune. And I said, look, if that's the case, dog, I'm just going to go ahead and get my own room, right? I don't need to stay in the house with your mom on a vacation trip. If I want to walk around with my shirt off, then I should be able to walk around with my shirt off and not feel like I'm disrespecting your mother. Or if we going out drinking and stuff, I should be able to speak freely. Like, I want to have my own space to just be me and not be, I'm in front of my friend's mom, Carl.
Maybe mom's life of the party.
That's another thing too. I've only met his mother one time, right? And so in meeting his mom one time, it wasn't one time with my shirt off and my clothes everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's just not a proper way of doing it. Like, let's say like your boy Jonathan, he's like, yeah, let's all go. We're going on a vacation, but we gonna stay in the house with my mom. You okay with doing that?
I think I've done that.
How old were you?
I was younger. Matter of fact, they took me on my first vacation.
Yeah, right. I remember that. And that's why I want you to remember what that time was then versus now. It's like, all right.
They gave us our own room, though. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, I'm not about to be just walking around. I still don't, like, we got to the point where we old enough where she started cussing in front of us a little more, and I still won't cuss.
Right. Hey, real shit. That's like to me, it's like, dog, it's just like, I wouldn't put you in a situation where you had to stay in a house with my mom. And that's what I was telling him. Like, imagine if this house right now was...
your mom's need us, though. She apparently...
You said what?
Your mom's need us for certain
No,
things.
but see, there's certain things... Your wife invited my mom to the Super Bowl party, right? My mom and dad.
Yeah.
And they would have been the only people there their age. The first thing that came out of my mom's mouth was, I ain't going to hang out with y'all kids. That was the first thing that she said. So that's home training for me. It's like, bro, you and bro's 40. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you turning 40 and you over here talking about you want to have a slumber party? Dog, we're not even staying here.
So that man have his birthday.
But am I wrong I wouldn't got my own room?
No.
I feel like I should be.
Everybody wins.
But in his mind, I messed up everything, the whole flow of everything. I said, dog, how I mess up me taking care of me? Right now, you ain't even got a place to stay at right now. You keep wishing places on us. And
what about the other party? You didn't tell him, like, yo, mom's is coming. You still?
I told him, and he told me, unbeknownst to the other friend, hey, I'm staying with you because he's today, Lex. We so 12,
that means if
12 days away. He saying got a room.
If that means he ain't had to have cash to begin with, it's gonna be that much more expensive because he gotta get.
So you want to spend a G on a house
with your mom?
Yo, my place is $400. We can split that to like $150 a person.
Yeah, that's just a
business.
Especially if you know the itinerary. Yo, this is just basically storage.
Bro, we're going to a Warriors game.
This is storage space and to lay my head real quick.
I'm not spending the G going to San Francisco. I got my flight for $64. I'm up right now. You know what I mean? So if I got my flight in my room for $400,
like you itching right now.
Nah, my palms is itching from wearing my golf gloves. Palms. My what is this called? The top of your hand.
Your wrist.
This is a wrist.
And I don't know. Your hand.
This is specifically a palm, though. That's what's
the
crazy.
Palm of your hand.
Like these are fingers.
That's
but
the
this
black hand side.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So what's up? What's good with you, man? That was my long story. It's my turn to tell a long story. When I get 2 weeks to live, dog, I got some shit to talk about. I missed the every 2 week schedule, but then I like the everyday schedule. I mean, the every week schedule because it keeps us relevant.
Yeah, last Sunday I took my wife out to lunch without the kids. I was like, I ain't
damn, look at you, man. Okay.
I just felt like we ain't doing nothing. And Sunday's weird when we did all the cleaning on Saturday. There ain't no football or nothing. I ain't podding. Like, what am I gonna do with my life? Clean some more.
You just sit there like this.
So yeah, I took the opportunity.
Shelves need to be dusted.
We went down to I'm gonna do it too. We went to. I remember a long time ago you brought that bird and bun in here, and the fries look fire, and I was like, I gotta go try that.
Tastes really good hot.
But see, I knew the area was in, but I didn't know where it was. Right, and I was like, oh, there's a reason
the building looked too nice.
Yeah, there's a reason he brought this shit home.
No, I've been there. I've been there too.
Yeah. But I went down there because I
So
was
for
like,
y'all that don't know, it's off of National Avenue.
yeah. But this is the funny part because I was like, oh yes, he's like, oh, is there a sitting? I was like, no, it's a pickup spot, but they got the little tables outside.
Yeah.
So I was like, I mean, we can post up here, I guess.
His sun was out, right?
Yeah, just don't leave the curb. But the thing is, like, I live here, like I know this,
Right.
and I ain't been outside in a while like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, yeah, the building looks
The building looks
suspicious.
Nice. No, the building is cool.
Right.
When you get inside, yeah.
Yeah, when you get inside. So we order our stuff. I didn't realize it was like a
food hub.
like a hub.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh damn, now I want to try a little bit of everything. But I wouldn't out. But I got that. She got some birria. And then we just sat. But the thing is, like, we were just hanging out, and then like, whoo, man, the gentrification was on its way, right?
Oh,
because dog,
you spit. We got
dog,
time today. I ain't got nowhere to be.
So these two white dudes pull up. Apparently one of them's not from here, or maybe he's in town, like hanging out with his homie.
Yeah.
And they sat down, and this is something. One of the great pastimes of me and my wife. We like to people watch, and we don't just be out people watching no more because the kids don't let us hear nothing. And he just started talking, right? And so he's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, so his friend's like, so where are we at right now?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Then,
you start looking around. Hey, when the concrete like looks uneven,
once you leave the curb,
yeah. But I'm saying when the sidewalk look uneven and it's cracking and splitting up, you know you're in a different neighborhood.
Just right across the street, this little girl, they were playing in the driveway, and they had this big ass gate, double barred up, and she wanted to come out so bad.
If grass grows in between your cement, you know you're in a tough neighborhood.
But the way he was describing it was
weeds.
like, yeah, he's like, yeah, this is a really good area.
Oh shit!
It's probably the last area in San Diego that you would label up and coming. And I was like, dog, just say the N word right now. I know you want to. And she's sitting there.
Up and coming is crazy because that shit ain't even coming up. That's what's really crazy.
No, there's some money down there.
Oh man,
they're trying.
It's not coming
but
up.
So that's
though,
the thing.
fully.
No, yeah, I mean.
So what he's saying in up and coming?
No, I know what he wanted to say.
Still, to me, it's still shit because it's like, dog, I've been down there, dog. They not fixing that national area.
He wanted to. I was just waiting for him to say urban. And so we left, right, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take the scenic route because I'm not rushing to get home.
Right.
And so we drove down National, which turns into Logan.
Right.
And then made that left on Euclid. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, every now and then you gotta touch the hood one time, and I was like, thank God we did because I'm like,
in her eyes, she was like, we're past that.
She's like, she was like, nah, I
take me back to the manicure lawns.
We worked too hard to get up out of here. I ain't doing that. But I was like, I gotta see it, man. When's the last time you was on Euclid?
Bro, I pass through all the time, man. I used to work off of in City Heights before I moved back to Kearny Mason.
Well, it's been a minute since I would have been over there, but it don't take long because I'm like, yo, what the fuck happened right here?
they are changing shit.
They bought a whole bunch of people's houses, knocked them joints down. They put a little center over there. They took whatchamacallit away. I was like,
they got random HOA houses in cuts too.
Churches held on as long as it could.
Oh yeah, it's done. You used to be able to smell that chicken from on top of the hill.
Yeah, but that wasn't because it was good.
No,
that's
Leroy didn't change the grease.
That's because they cleaning practices. But yeah, man, they putting some shit right off the 94. I was like, man,
Gompers got a little billboard facing the highway. Like it's different.
A little billboard.
Hey, you got to take small victories in the cut, man.
They got the nerve to call themselves a prep academy and try to make it use a school.
Oh man.
But yeah, other than that, shit just be happening, Yeah. It's, what else happened? I'm sick of G school, man. They got 2 picture days. You ever heard of some shit like that?
Nah, but they hitting over the head for these stills. They getting better at giving you the prints too.
We got
the
Instagram now.
Hey, check online if you want to see more of these. Here's a small wallet version with our big ass stamp in the middle.
Who carries a wallet anymore?
Not me. You got a wallet?
Nah, I got a card clip thingy.
Where?
Like I don't even carry that shit really. I got one card in my pocket, whichever one I need for the moment.
Fam, you know what? I know I'm gonna get you. I'll get you one of these though.
No, I got a thing. It was a groomsman
that
gift.
go on the back on the phone like that.
I got a groomsman gift. Nah, I want that.
Nah,
that's
I used to say the same thing, but it don't. But it
don't talk to me like that. You better put your tone back.
There we go. We gonna get to that. Somebody talking to you crazy.
Still won't answer the phone. No, I don't know. Hold on. I'm holding it.
Yeah, no. Still won't answer though. That's crazy. All right, we get started. Man. Hit my hand claps, man. We over here bullshit. That was a really good. Well, we not bullshit. That was a really good conversation. Oh, look at that little bird up there. It's something magical when a bird flies like above you or something, and you just look at it. It's like just a little calming peace you get.
I was calm. Yeah, I feel like you just trying to stay fired up for the content.
Yeah.
To more bullshit. Dog.
Why you all Aggie?
My overhead is fucking crazy.
Hey, you know, you're right. My
overhead is
when I look at it for what it is now, I can never lose my job. I think of that shit all the time, man. Random shit to fill in time.
And it's yeah, go ahead.
This has everything to do with it. Listen, let me tell you a little bit of something about me before we get into this, right? Let me tell you a little bit of something. No, because I got to get this out because, like, I told you the history was there since 2016, right? Like, that was before I even started potting. And he was talking to me crazy then. And so it's like, to me, it's like, you always try to find a reason to, like, take a slight at me, right? So let me tell y'all a little bit of something about me, right? I'm a normal ass dude. So I call myself normal ass Carl. I do normal ass shit, and if it's dope,
DJ normal ass Carl in the mix.
I love that. Keep the funny undertone under it because I'll take it there. I'll suck the whole life out of this. Pause.
Hell no, to the no, 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 yeah, to the no, hell to the no, to the no,
Oh shit!
no. Hell
Let that
no,
shit finish
no.
on. I know that one long as hell. So my whole point is this. I'm a normal dude. I do regular shit. I put my pants on the same way y'all do.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, sometimes I sit
Not
down.
today.
Not today. Not these. Whole leg out.
This whole shit funny. You ain't really good.
We do about 400 or 500 listens a week. On a good week, you know what I mean? When shit's going down, maybe about 2,000 listens a month, 30,000 on the year. Sometimes we'll get an uptick and do 800 on an episode, 900 on the episode. Just depends on who's here, right? I'm giving you the inner workings. It's none of y'all business, really. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. We got fans from all across the globe, right? I've never met them, right? I've never met them in my day. And like a day, don't worry, I'm bleeping me out today, right? I've never met them.
Bleeping what? What'd you say?
Oh, I'm saying so.
Oh, forgot. I guess that's just me.
Yeah. It's just your natural tone. My mom was like, why you keep cussing?
That's what I'm saying, man.
And I told you, that's why I didn't want to stay there.
That's why I don't want to know the fans because I want to talk like me.
Yeah, exactly. Just do you. So we have this friend. And this friend has very poor, self-esteem. Is what I'm just going to attribute it to. No, it has to be.
No,
dog.
yeah, go ahead.
And I'm not being funny. I'm just being honest about it because for him, it's always taking a slight at me. Saying, oh, I didn't go to college like you did, so break this down because I don't understand it. Oh, this podcast shit getting to your head because, you get a few listens or whatever. First of all, bro, we are a mom and pop's podcast network that records off of an iPhone into a very good scenario for me in regards to equipment. It ain't like nothing crazy. I'm in my mom's house right now doing this. People come to my mom's house. They have this genuine feel. I'm not Rockefeller in the late 90s and early 2000s, right? I'm just a regular mom and pop's podcast. So for me, here's my statement. If you are a grown man and you can't, you can't articulate your feelings in a manner that, is respectful to everybody, then don't talk to me, right? I'm not here for that energy, man. I'm not here for the slights and all that. If you can't talk to me, but we try to reach out to you and have conversations and you on some bullshit, stay there. Right now, I'm not the most irrational person on the planet, right? Because I go hard for my homie, and he'll tell you. Because there's been other instances where I've showed him this, right? But if you can come to me with reason, we can have a conversation, right? So my man shoots me a text message. We ain't heard from him in about 6 months. He disappears out of the group chat. He says that, hey man, I just got to get my life right. Y'all buying houses, having families and stuff like that. He was like, I'm just trying to get like y'all. That's problem number one. Be yourself. Right. Number two, right. The other problem is that you go ghost and we have the same conversations that I would have with you in person. I have no problem with being honest with you. You just don't answer the phone and you don't have the time. So to sit here and say I'm Hollywood or I'm big time or that my head is in the clouds, you tripping. Yesterday I was at, my stepson's T-ball game. The day before that on Thursday, I was at T-ball practice. I've been at home the whole fucking week. I'm not a celebrity. So let me just make sure that I tell you all this right now. I just have the balls to put together a podcast network and talk to people. That's it. And network with them and highlight the dope shit that they doing because I want my listeners or our listeners to be able to, hear about the cool shit that's happening in the community. Don't take my platform and try to make it into something that it's about me because it ain't. I don't get paid for this shit. Lex don't get paid for this shit. You know what I mean? Like this is us in our hard earned cash and our time that we would spend with our families just to be able to give y'all this information to come direct. So I just want to make sure that we clear this. If you ever hear it, then you know my stance on it since you won't answer the phone. But to be passive aggressive and talking shit to my man Lex as if like he ain't never looked out for you and I ain't never looked out for you. Like that's my problem. And that's where we're coming at, where it's like, yo, friends grow apart. And what I'm also starting to notice in my 30s is that, people that I shared shit with, like when I was 16, it's either we going to evolve together or we just not going to evolve and we were just friends because we shared childhood experiences together. And I'm okay with losing people at this point because I got enough associates and people that will do something if I ask them to and keep my core friends together. That's my piece on it right now. I'll let you chime in a little bit. I went long-winded. I came in with the energy too, so... That's where I'm at for now, and I'll add more to this.
I could tell it's been a couple weeks because it wasn't as spicy as the phone call after that last.
Oh no, I had to find a way to articulate it through a way without me sounding so crazy. Oh no, it was super spicy. I would have had to bleep all that.
Even your tone, that's what I'm saying. The microphone turned on. He's all Dan Rather and shit.
Dan Rather.
I don't know why that came. You were clearly
Dan Rather. I clearly, yeah, he definitely doesn't wear these shorts. He definitely doesn't wear these shorts. No.
Yeah, man. I mean, on one tip, I feel you. I'm like, there ain't enough hours in the day. I got a lot of people as it is. Like, I don't need any new friends. So, like, if somebody fall off here and there, like, it's cool. But when it happens, it still hurt. And this one's a little different. Because, I mean, one, I am somewhat in the middle on it. Because he seems to be having a lot more smoke for you than he do me. And I be catching strays. But I think it's just because in that mini circle, it's like, it's us two. And so, I guess at one point, your cousin would have been there as well. But yeah, man, like we 2 decades in. I met you when I was 12, 13 years old. And like, obviously you don't know what you're doing at that point. But like, I kind of figured where I'm at now is kind of what it was going on to. And yeah, people just in the whole growing apart thing, especially when you got that many years at that age with someone, like it's hard to. The thing that'll keep you together is the memories that you're making at that point and the things that you're doing right then and there. So that can always keep you there because that's important. But like, if nothing else, I feel like I've always at least shown the way. I've never hidden information from nobody. I've never not tried to pull people up with me as I ascend. And it's either you get like me or you do your own thing. And that's perfectly fine. I'm not saying what I do is correct or the right way or the fastest way or the correct way, because everybody different what they want. But if you saying like, I like what you doing, I like, but you don't do the behind the scenes stuff that I do, the sacrifice or, you know, any of that, the work, like you can't, I can understand the frustration. I can understand the depression, like all of that. And that's another reason why I don't get as spicy with him as you might, just because it's like,
no, did. With one time, dog. It's
right,
not all
but
the
it's
time.
like, you know what I mean? Like, I can understand, like, obviously it's wrong in the way you lashing out at the people that you pushing away the people that you need the most or you want to have the most. And you going about it all wrong, like the way you moving about it. But that's a symptom of the things that is going on in the man's head. And so, like, I can sympathize with that, but at the same time, you know, like you were saying, I'm only gonna get talked to like this for so long before I'm just like, I'm not fucking with you no more. Like, I don't need that type of shit in my life. All positive vibes, and I can totally get that too. And so, like I do with any close friend, because I consider him, you know, closer than just an associate. Anytime I have a fall off, you know, because we've talked about this many times, it could be like its own segment when I do a story time. It's I don't have the energy that you have. It's more like, all right, you obviously, because we've had the same conversation with him several times over the past 10 years as this was developing.
Yeah.
Like, dog, don't come at me crazy. Because I'm like, don't come at me crazy. You ain't mad at me. Like, I know you saying this and saying that, and these words are coming out, but no, I'm me. Don't play me. Like, I've told him this. Like, do not, and that's why I wanted to call him the several times I tried to call him. Like, yo, I understand. Like, I always understand, but at the same time, it's like we've already told you why it is and what's happening. Like, if roles were reversed or switched, and like, I'm not driving to the desert to do this pod with you. Like, when I see you, and it's all love. And yeah, and then this is one of the important things why being in a group chat like that is important. Because if you got that many years in with people and everybody busy, because we all in a point of our lives where we just got nonstop shit going on and families and all that, like, for anything, you would think he would need the group chat more than anybody. If you out there alone and don't got the same stuff going on as, or you got the time, you would think that, yeah, but it's like, oh no, I need to disconnect. Like, I feel like you out in the desert, like, you already disconnected enough.
Yeah.
And when you start getting in your own head like that, because you disconnected, now you start putting words in other people's mouths, or, telling people how they feel or what they doing. And it's like, nah, man, it ain't like that. Like, you mad at us because we all live in the same city. Like, if you was in the same city, you would be around us. I'm pretty sure of it. And the crazy part is, when you do come to the city, I would say most of the time, I at least get an alert, or he'll tell us like a couple days before, like, I'm gonna be in there. But then when you hear, I'm like, cool, I'll slide some time over, come through, see the house, see the kids, because I still got my regular shit going on. If you're going to give me 24 hours notice, but it's like, you know what, I'm posted up today, just come through when you can. And I understand that you only in town for the day or whatever, you got to see the family, you got to do this and that. Maybe you can't get to me, but don't pretend that the effort wasn't made, or that I didn't drop my location like, oh, you know what, I got to do this, but I'm going to be back later. I got this window of time open. Anytime you've ever hit me, I've always given you a window of time, if not all day, to where I'm like, this is where I'm going to be. Anytime you needed me or your mom's needed me or whatever, 9 times out of 10, I was there. And if I wasn't, it's because I had a previous engagement or something else happened. But like, and it's kind of like, I guess we talking about it on air now, because like, I feel you. Like, I'm done talking about it. I was just going to talk, I just wanted to call him to be like, yo, I love you, man. Like, it is what it is. Like, whether you believe that or not, like, obviously what we're doing and the stuff that we tell you, trying to help you through what you're doing or, you know, with your feelings is not working. So if you need to fall back and work on that yourself, then do that. And all I would ask is when the time comes that you get yourself right or you feel you were right and you can understand how you was moving was wrong, don't be too prideful to come back, because one, I'm not going to throw that shit in your face. And two is like, I'm always open. I'm going to be open. Anybody I've had that fallout that I've held close to me, and that space that he now falls into, anytime they've come back or some still haven't come back, it was still all love. It might not be the same as far as like the interactions and stuff like that, depending how long you fell back for, but it's still all love. It always will be, because I've broken bread with him way too much. We've got too much time in the can to where, yeah, we might not be able to be what we were, but it's always going to be love.
But we not what we was.
No, but nobody knows what it was. Nobody knows what it was.
No, but I'm saying like the dynamic of the relationship has changed. Yeah. Bro, you could tell me, to my face, Lex, and say, yo, Karl, you have changed. And I would say, yes, so have you. This person can say, hey, Karl, you have changed. And I can say, you haven't. And that's a problem. Like, you gotta evolve at some point. And I'm going to a larger topic, and I'm not just specifically on this one, but like, yo, if you're not growing, then dog, what are you here on this earth for? And if you grew up without your father, you know what I mean? So did, this person, right? It should be motivation for you to be better. Be present in your kids' lives when you have kids. Be set financially or whatever, so you ain't got to worry about that. And if you don't have your father in your life, you had an example in front of you of 10 or 11 guys that are on the wave, right, of doing the right things and trying to get their life in order, right? I surround myself with them. If I thought the group chat was that bad, I wouldn't fuck with it. Right? If I thought my other group chat was that bad, full of brothers that's like really trying to get they groove going, I now know about 15 guys that lead a life that I'm leading right now. And I surround myself with people like that. That is a choice. You wake up every day and you get the same 24 hours that I get, right? What do you do with it? What do you do with it? So if you get mad at that, man, or whatever, or how I choose to spend my 24 hours or whatever, hey, I get it. You know what I mean? Or if you get envious of it, that's really what it come down to. And the shit kind of remind me of this, right? You seen Spider-Man with Jamie Foxx, that one?
The newer one or the
the first one with Jamie Foxx?
Yeah.
You saw it?
Yeah.
And you remember how he was kind of like in his head about things and the perception the people had about him?
I'm not gonna remember something like that.
Yeah, I do, because like he was hearing voices and shit. You know what I mean? Like you said, we can talk about mental health or whatever, but it's like bro, like you in your mind, like I'm doing innocent things or whatever, bro, and you're trying to make it out to like that I'm being an evil person, or I'm moving in a way that is distasteful to people. He has said that we had talked about his wedding on the podcast 6 months ago. Yes, I tell you to your face, because that's your ex-wife now, and she was giving you hardship. It was a complete waste of my time, dog. At the time where you thinking about your wedding and all this other shit, dog, and I'm worried about my finals and shit like that at the time when it happened.
Right, and so that's what I mean. The whole thing of that was because I think maybe he heard something because he was trying to catch up from the last time he fell back, and I guess he was moving on to some shit we said 6 months ago. But understand the context of that story, the wedding specifically. Because he made it seem like, oh, I had to listen to some shit on your little show to find out how you really felt about the wedding. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure everybody kind of told you, hey, man, you sure you want to do this? Because I know I did. And the whole thing was, if feeling that way about your wedding makes you a bad friend, you got to look at it different. Because every one of your groomsmen that was there felt the same exact way, but we showed up. We all drove to a city nobody wanted to be in for a wedding we did not support for you.
Or we didn't even know this person.
That's not even.
No, for me, it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, I
don't
get
even
that.
know her.
Like, I don't know her just from what you told me and just the surround, like the time frame. Like, just like, you know, I drove my wife there. I mean, it wasn't my wife at the time, but
we all brought our significant others.
yeah, the whole.
It was cool to go to a wedding for a friend that, you know, at that time, he was the only person I knew that was getting married at that time.
Right, driving.
Which to me is crazy in itself because, like, you didn't get married until years after that.
We drove 7 hours to a city that we did not want to be at.
Bakersfield. Let's just say Bakersfield. It's not even a top 5 city in California.
Not even a top 5.
It's not. There's only there's like how many places have 5 major cities and the one don't make the list.
The thing is, out of all of that, I still took a bunch of good things from that day because I'm like, the amount of quotables, the jokes, everything that happened leading up to it, like, it was still a good day, even though in the back of our minds we're like, well, catch you at the next one. And the thing is, we was right, and that's the whole thing. That's why you can't get as spicy about it, because we was right. And I'm just only talking about that on the. Because I know you was in the middle about to go down another one, just the wedding specifically, man. Like, don't get mad about how we felt about it. Because you can't control everybody's feelings. Because maybe not everybody told him, like, hey, man, you sure you want... But I know I had that talk because of how long he knew her. The minimal stuff that I knew about her from what he told me. And just, you know, the age, stuff like that. And it's like, nah, man, like, you can't get mad at people for stuff they don't know about when you tell them after the fact the stuff you're doing.
Yeah.
But it's like, nah, all those people felt the same way and they still showed up. Proceed.
I'm off it. I'm going to just put it to you like this, and this is my last final piece. Like I said, if you're a grown man and you can't, you know, convey your feelings in a way that's respectful, you know, because on that day in question, you know, 3 weeks ago when this shit happened, you know, like, look, if you want to hit me up about the pod, that's cool or whatever. You want to tell me about your opinion about what I said or whatever, that's cool too. Just know that I do this because I believe in the shit that I'm saying, right? That's what I always say. I always believe in the shit I'm saying. And that's okay. That's my truth. Like, dog, if you got your own truth, yo, hey, say you want to call in, I'll let you call. You can say whatever the you want. That's why I champion Mark for calling me on my shit. I champion you. Fam, it's not like what I say is absolute. I just believe in what I'm saying when I say it. And if you say something different and I change up, cool. I believe that your wedding was a complete waste of time. You could drive down here. I could drive and go tell you the same thing. But it's like, I don't need that negativity. I blocked him. I say, yo, you know, if I bother you that much, bro, then let me stay out the way. If you need to hit me up through somebody else then. You know, I got family members, if they need to really reach me or whatever, you can reach me. I just don't need that negativity, you know. But please, you know, recognize, like, yo, looking at your friends, like, yo, are we growing apart? Or are our values different? And that's okay. It's okay. It happens all the time. It was a culture shock for me to start witnessing that. Like, damn, that's what you on, dog? Like, I can't even be. I've seen guys plenty of times at the liquor store right here. I'm still in the hood a little bit, you know. I see them right here. Oh, what's good, man? And, you know, they just look bad. And I'm like, oh, man, that sucks to see them like this. You know what I mean? Oh, man, we should hang out. No, we shouldn't. Like, dog, you know, you go get it together eventually. So that's my piece on that.
It's the whole thing is because, and the thing is, with my time, the group chat was assembled for a reason. Because I was like, I can just have whatever I'm talking about. I ain't got to tell 100 different people. I just say it one time. Whoever see it, whoever don't, keep it pushing. And then there's the people that aren't in the group chat that I make genuine efforts to hit up once a month, or, you know, when I got some time, just to kind of like put the effort in, because that's just who I am. And once he left the group chat, initially I was like, you know what, I'm gonna still hit him up on the side, you know. And then, like, but it's like, you don't always respond like that,
Right.
or you hit me with some whatever. But then, like, more recently, before this all happened, and I think maybe that's why he started listening again, there'd been a little bit more back and forth frequently, you know, basketball shit, whatever's going on. I sent him my music list. I'm like, just in case you ain't seen it, because I know you ain't plugged in or not, you know, I'm making an effort. And then that's why when I was trying to look at that exchange again, because that was all funny. Like, I felt like he was trying to come back in.
Man, don't reintroduce it, man. Let's get out of here.
No. I'm trying to say, because like he put me and you in a mini thread, and I'm like, he was in good spirits, and then it's like out of nowhere, he must have heard something and just all switched it up. And then I've been trying to call him since, and then he was just like, and then I tried to like tell him like, yo, I was real calm. He's like, what's up with your mans? Because he hit me the next day.
There's nothing wrong with me.
We gonna say, we gonna talk about what he said in that little audio message. And I'm like, and so because I leaned more on your side of the thinking, I was like, hey man, I think I'm not gonna speak for the man, but I think he sees a pattern and we can talk about it. And then he just hit me with it ain't that deep, and sends me 6 paragraphs about why it's so deep. And then in the paragraph, it's like, oh. I was like, oh, are you mad at me? You mad at me? You mad at me too? And then he was just like, and then out of nowhere, it had nothing to do with nothing. It was like he was talking under his breath, but through a text. Had me in a group chat with a bunch of dudes I'm with. And I'm like, since when? Because not everybody, but like, who's in the group chat? Like, since I met you, I've known a lot of these people already. And so, all of my people that I grew up with, we all went to different high schools, and we all kind of introduced random friends as they come over to hang out or whatever. I.e. him, i.e. Debo, people like that. And it's like, you know a lot of these people, and you've known them for quite a long time. You may not be as close with them, but you know these. Like, what do you mean? And then, so, yeah, man, it was pretty childish. So I'm like, hey, man.
Just let him do it.
That's why I was like, I'm not about to text you no more. Like, call, like, and the fact, like, come on, man, you a whole year older than me. Not even on, like.
It's cool, dog. Just let it. Woo side, man. Yeah, let's. Little League. Wait, is G playing sports this year?
I mean, eventually we're going to try to get him back in there. We looking for the time right now. Like,
for him?
What's
different from last year to this year?
The daycare.
Oh. You would have to take him to practice then, huh?
Yeah, I think once the dust settles with a bunch of stuff, like this year, I mean, he's not going to not play nothing, but we going to get him back.
The reason why I said Little League is because, I've been seeing the signs everywhere, right? About tryouts and, kids sign up. So my stepson, he played baseball last year. And, I'm driving around with mom's like, oh, you going to play this year? And he's been asking, I want to play, I want to play. And so one of the little girls that we know, she ends up going to baseball practice last week. I'm like, what the hell? Like, how'd she go to baseball practice? And, season ain't started. They started in like the end of March last year. I look online, signings was in February, right? I was like, oh, shit. And then I call them. It was like, yo, the deadline was Monday. It was like Wednesday. I'm like, dog, keep losing. So I was like, hey, look, I'll take on a team if y'all can get him to play, right? So it just so happened that, at the local Little League down the street, there's 2 of them, right? One of them was full, and then a Little League down the street, they, have the league president was, doing 2 teams. He was like, look, you take this T-ball team. He's like, thank you. So, all right.
Get you some nepotism.
So now Coach Karl is in effect, right? I'm back now, right? And I soon realized the age group that I was dealing with, right? I was like, oh, we not going to have any quality practices. A lot of people don't know this. I used to coach high school baseball, right? We won CIF Edison High School 2012, right? Wouldn't make this up, right? Go check it. Coach Roll. That's my guy.
Go check.
Coach Roll. But anyway, I get out there and I'm like, man, we had opening day yesterday. Right? Long story less long, there was only like 9 teams from all 5 divisions. Right? So this is my larger topic. I don't care about me coaching, nothing like that. But I feel like baseball is dying in Little League.
Isn't it dying everywhere?
It's dying everywhere except for Dominican Republic. But like, I was sitting here thinking, I was like, bro, and I called one of the leagues and they were like, yeah, we're struggling to have kids right now because of COVID and everything else. And I'm just sitting here thinking like, damn. And baseball is also letting me know in this neighborhood, based off what you're saying, gentrification is real. there are more white kids on teams now in this area than I've seen previously before. I've seen them at Ralph's too. They look like fam. They look like PB white people. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, they are not afraid anymore. When the housing market, then that's what I wanted to talk about too, hit 700,000 for 92114. I said, oh, it's different. It's gonna be really different in these next 4 or 5 years, to where people are just gonna say, the hell with it. We just gonna move into these neighborhoods. We're gonna clean this shit up.
Just go put our food hub in the barrio.
Yeah, fam. If they put a what's the little salad place that everybody go to? What's her Crystal like going to the place all
Tender
the time?
Greens.
They put a Tender Greens here. We out of here. You get a Tender Greens,
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, they building one in Spring Valley.
Oh, is that what's gonna go right there?
Yeah, they not playing right now, dog. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, yo,
that shit would have been different when I was over there.
Yo, they getting rid of Raleigh soon. Look, Raleigh's
I
Raleigh's
drove past,
associated.
I was like, damn, they just took this whole half of the parking lot that nobody parks in. They about to do something.
Yeah, because Chick-fil-A ain't going for them hangouts. Matter of fact, we closed on Sundays,
they making
baby.
rallies in that taco shop looking real old right now.
Yeah, they getting rid of it. Yo, they put the Yoshinoya place there. I ain't never ate there because they got like 2.9 stars, but like, I'm not trying to do all that. But yeah, Little League is dying. And I'm sitting here, and there's a lot more interleague
that
play.
Adult store across the street, they gonna be like,
yeah,
we can stay here, right?
The Emporium, they getting the Emporium
You ever
out
been
here.
up in there?
No, I don't need to go to an
It's
Emporium.
exactly what you think it would be.
Not going in there. Statistics show that the share of children ages 6 to 12 who participate in baseball on a regular basis in the United States from 2008 to 2020, according to the source, is about 2% less than what it was or than what it is now. So 14.4% of children participated in baseball on a regular basis in 2019, down from 16.5% in 2008, all the way from 2008 to 2020. Right? That's a big statistic number. And then I started thinking about it. Well, what is it? Baseball is expensive. You got to buy a glove. You got to buy cleats. They grow out of it. And then also at the same token too, I would also blame the rise of the NBA, right? The NBA, right, is just capturing everyone right now. Football's losing popularity too, but I feel like the NBA is still, if anything, is even stronger than what it was previously when it started. And kids rather play basketball, or they rather stay in and play video games too. Right. And that was part of the reason why I said, hey, look, we got to sign him up for something, because he sits at home and he plays video games. So, and also the other last piece of this is that there's been a lot more travel teams. Right. And so with travel baseball and travel sports, and the fact that the United States is connected like that with just youth sports and traveling in general, little leagues are suffering. Like, when's the last time you watched the Little League World Series?
Never.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
you have a son that would play, probably play little league or t-ball or something like that in the first place, just to get his feet wet. Because I know plenty of people that play little league and just didn't play again after that. It's basic. Like, your parents sign you up $100.
It's also neighborhood specific. Because a lot of, maybe not so much but like travel baseball and stuff like that shit costs a little money.
Yeah, a little.
And so it's like, okay, there's there's only so many kids that are gonna go outside with a bat and a ball and like whatever.
And you need 9 people to play.
It's easier.
Actually, 18.
It's easier to go play basketball because I can do that by myself. I can do it with as many people as it take. And, there's a park like that. And, showing up to the park by yourself with a bat and a ball just look kind of nuts. And yeah, it's neighborhood specific where it's like, Jonathan get mad at me to this day thinking he was going to be Ken Griffey III when he moved in.
He needed you to shag balls.
He was playing baseball. And then he moved in, and the way he tells it, man, I came in, I was ready to go. I was on my way. Mind you, we're 5. And then I came outside with my glove. He said, we don't do that here. And
sounds like some shit you would say.
And you rolled a basketball.
You still say that now. Yeah, we don't do that here. He over there holding his glove and his ball like this. It's like, damn, I ain't going to even play.
We played baseball a little bit. I was like, this shit trash.
Yeah, man. I wanted to highlight that, man, because like it was sad to see it. You know, especially like in urban neighborhoods.
Well, yeah, because that's like your thing. But see, that's another thing too when people get.
But it's also a community thing too, though. Like that's what like the community is growing apart. Like we talk about friends, but like I just remember like being able to know neighborhood kids.
No, yeah.
Like I used to be like, oh yeah, such and such. They live over there off of Good or whatever, or they live off of blah blah blah. Like like these kids don't know anything outside of their house, like past their neighbor. They don't even know the neighbor's name, across the street from us.
It's a shame when you driving by and you see nothing but like empty courts on a basketball.
Sick.
Like, nobody running no more. It used to take hours. Like, damn, you want to get to that open gym, you got to get there early, or else you ain't gonna run.
Right.
And I guess there's still some areas where that happens, but it's like,
but them open gym areas are far. Because there was a little run where I was playing again, like ball, but I was going by Montecito. That was the closest open run. It used to be Chula Vista Park and Parkway and all them other places, but I don't know where the runs are. I don't even play that no more. It's not easy on my knees, man. So
yeah, it's a damn shame. Oh man, he's still hooping. I was like, man, I can't tell you the last time I touched the
Do you
ball,
even have the motivation to hoop? Like if your wife said, "Hey, go run fives today," you got it.
I mean, maybe if I knew where it was at, but man, there was a time when I was going to that YMCA to the gym in Rancho, and I was like, man, I ain't touched the ball in a minute. Let me go see what it's looking like. See what the run looking like here. It's like there was just no comp. Like I was like, man, I ain't played ball in a while, and I'm out here bored. I'm just trying to get a sweat in at this point.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is terrible. And I would go to the gym 3-4 times a week, and I would stare down like, who's running today? I was like, it's like, man, everybody just so trash. It's just not a good area.
You are at the YMCA.
Yeah, but I mean, but if I haven't touched the ball, I would feel like I can at least get a good run in to get a
closest
rhythm
one
going.
to you might be the 24-hour in Rancho that I could think of, where there's solid runs. It's just a pain in the ass getting on the court.
Yeah, I just Now, if like the group chat was like, "Hey, let's go hoop," like I'll go do something like that.
I don't think anyone's going to send you that message. That's
No.
what I said. There's not a bone in my body that says, "Oh, bro, we went and shot when we went to your son's birthday party."
Yeah, that was the last time I saw
my
the
right
ball.
shoulder was on fire the next day.
Yeah,
I was like, I haven't used this muscle. Yeah.
And
My
those
scapula.
are something about that concrete, just extra rough.
Damn, and my
that
knees was
specific
hurting.
concrete, and it was like a triple rim. That rim is not friendly at all.
No.
I think one of us hit a shot in like 10 minutes.
And the wind was blowing too. I had to like aim at the square just for it to curl back in. I was like, this is golf.
It was nasty. It's a nasty place to try to get back up.
Listen, I'm gonna get in your bag right now. So I had made a comment earlier about the real estate market, right? It's a cold game. I seen an article that said that right now is the worst time in U.S. history in the last like 60, 70 years to buy a house. The average house cost in San Diego is about the lowest house price that you can find right now is about $700,000 for a house that's probably 3 bedrooms, maybe 1,500 square feet, 17 at the very minimum, right? It's about $700,000, right? I'm just spitballing the numbers. So if you know something better based on your calculations,
I wouldn't use the word lowest. If you want to say the average.
From what I've seen on my, because I was looking to,
There's not a lot of inventory.
There's not a lot of inventory either.
There's like 300 houses for sale.
But when there is inventory and it says 92114 or 92154, because you know where that is, that's down in San Ysidro, right? We all know 92154, and they hitting for them bullshit houses for 700,000. I said, oh, they tripping. Now let me put that in perspective. 700,000 means that you're paying about what 45 to 4,800 a month or whatever in your mortgage alone.
Close to 4.
Yeah. And then if you got some of these places don't have HOAs, but in your neighborhood, I know they hitting for 800, 900 now. Your equity probably looking nice right now, depending on when you got in.
We're not even a year in.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
We, like I said, man, just, I'm afraid. We got a letter from, you know how every, like the Aminettes here, every neighborhood kind of got that realtor that's like all over the place.
Yeah.
So we got one. She sent us a letter saying, hey, I got these clients that were trying to get into your model and they didn't get in time because they wasn't ready, but now they're ready to go. So they would really love their home and blah, blah, blah. And, and I was like, damn, we ain't even been here a year yet. Are you trying to kick us out? I hit her back though. I hit her with a dumbass number. I knew she was going to give me $1.5 million, and I'm out of here.
Would you take? Would you leave for that price?
Yeah, for that house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what she said?
She ain't
even respond.
Left me on red.
He's asking for 1.5. Hey, you would mess up the comps.
I would.
You would mess up the comps in that neighborhood.
All the neighbors would love me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Easily. And what'd you do?
Just like all the
to move next door again, huh? You like, yo, we move this shit out here next door.
Yeah, I ain't coming back. But
if you left there, where would you live?
I don't know, man. Cause like the thing is, what you just said about this is the worst time ever. Like I've been feeling like that when I moved there. I've been feeling like that for a while now. Cause every year, cause there was something crazy happening from 2008 to 2012 where we bottomed out, and it's just been on the come up since. Which is why stuff like this is dangerous, or, you know, you kids and everybody think they know the stock market now. It's like, nah, you're just enjoying a nice little run.
Yeah.
If you're old enough, you know shit like this happens to where you just kind of throw something at the wall and it's going to stick. To like, even right now, like when you bought your house, I was like, yo, like, congrats, first of all, but man. Ain't no way I could pay that much for that house.
I was standing in the living room like Will, and I was like, damn, I got to stay here a little longer now. I thought I was going to be.
That's why I was saying. That's what I was telling people. Like, all right, it's cool. Like, you want to buy something, that's cool, and have your plan. But buy something where you're okay if that plan don't turn out, and you got to be stuck.
Oh, I'm okay.
I'm not saying
that's why you start seeing me with launch monitors, putting shit in the backyard. I was like, look, I'm gonna make it work. Like, I'm gonna be all right like, here.
Crazy, but the thing is, numbers wise, it still didn't make sense to me. But like, the forgiving thing about real estate is if you hold on long enough, you gonna win.
Yeah,
you gonna win. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I'm paying a mortgage and the interest sucks, but technically, you just putting that money into something else to where it's not like you bought something and you paid a company. Like a bank gave you a loan and you're paying it back, but the money that you paid them still exists within the house. Now, it's not something you can really spend like that easily, but it's still yours. Whether you leave it to the kids, whether you sell it to do something else, it's still yours. You're just setting it aside for 30 years at a time, or, you know, whatever the case may be. And yeah, man, I would know where I could live, because I'm not supposed to be living there now. It took me selling that last house for over asking and doing, you know, that time and effort and energy. Like, even though we sold, I had a decent amount of equity, and it took every single penny to get there just to have what I consider a pretty high ass mortgage right now. So it was like, I can't go backwards. But the thing is, for what I pay for this house, I would be coming back this way. If I had to leave,
you probably even couldn't afford one of the houses here now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and that was with good interest rates.
So what would you tell somebody right now that was looking to buy a house in the market? Like, what would your best opinion be?
Stack your bread, work on your credit, get rid of some debts. Don't.
For how long?
I told you don't buy. I didn't. The only reason I buy is because I had damn, like, yeah, it's the best time to sell, but I still got to buy something. And so it's like the good on the in and bad on the out. I wouldn't advise nobody to buy right now, but if you had to, I would just, the same thing I tell everybody when they're getting ready.
The predictions I'm hearing is 2024, 2025 is when we'll hit an economic downturn. It's a prediction. What do you think? What they said was that I
don't do predictions like that, because people were saying in 2016, people were saying like this run.
2020, we had a small one in the beginning of February.
Not for houses.
Not for housing, no. But I'm talking about just like the Fed has got so for you guys that don't know this, right? So like there's a central bank in the United States, and I think the Fed is a bank, right? Or just
call it the Reserve.
Yeah, the Federal Reserve. They set the interest rates, right? And so it doesn't affect like cars and stuff like that and houses specifically, but
yeah, dude.
Not
that
directly,
interest rate.
Not directly.
Well, all right.
I got to go back and read it, but I don't think it's directly. It sets the tone of how they respond.
It sets the tone for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, indirectly it does, but it's not like they set those rates specifically. They just set the rates of which I believe other banks can borrow from you.
Right.
From
so
them.
they set the rates, and this kind of drives the economy. Do
Right.
you want people spending more or holding up? So the reason right now that it seems like everything's super high is because one, low inventory. And so when you have low demand or we have low supply and high demand, it's going to drive the price up because somebody's going to be willing to pay a little bit more.
Right.
And two, the money's cheap. So the ability to borrow more makes it so, I can borrow more, so I'll spend more. And that's also what's driving. So when this interest rate creeps up, you're going to see a small decline in how much housing is worth because people can't borrow as much.
Right.
It's not gonna like, oh my God, my house ain't worth shit no more. But as it creeps up, because the interest rate's never been this low for this long. And, back in like the 80s, people was paying like 16%. And people of our age bracket would be like, what the fuck? Never.
Not touching that.
And so, and it's getting to the point now where people are like, oh man, 4.5%, that's super high. What's going on? And it's like, I grew up like, man, that was the lowest it was.
Yeah.
Now, as it creeps up, you're going to see, especially with this inflation right now, inflation ain't helping. Everything's just more expensive. That's going to hopefully ease some of the suffering. But the thing is, with the inventory staying that low, it's not going to help. It's not going to fix anything because instead of maybe 20 offers on a house, maybe it'll go down to 10. Which cut in half, but it's still 10 offers on one house. It's still gonna be crazy, but this is something they're gonna try to do to offset what's going on. And so a downturn, also with war and shit on the horizon and all that type of stuff, that's not usually any good. But we'll see. So if you go and buy, or if you're trying to tap in on some equity or any type of credit lines, I would do that shit right now before it gets out of control.
Which is why I did my shit down. That's cool. Hit my hand claps. Yeah. We'll do one more segment, then we get the hell up out of here. Read 'em and wheat. I couldn't be happier for my friends who are embarking on the next chapter of their lives with their partners. But I'm becoming increasingly anxious about their bachelorette parties. When did the bachelorette party become such a big production? While I have attended my fair share, I think they are getting increasingly extravagant and pricey. I'm trying to prioritize my own next step in life, which is buying a home. And it feels like I'm being invited to spend a significant chunk of my savings over the course of a few months. The weddings themselves will require significant travel. My first instinct is to say no, but it's hard to refuse a bride who is important to me. I want to be supportive and involved during this exciting time for them. Mm. When you got married, I was in the middle of saving cash, right?
Right.
And I had just went to Vegas like the week before, like for a bachelor party, and I had to now go to your wedding in Vegas. And it was that and like the amount of tiredness I felt where I was like, look, I don't want to let my man down, but if he was here in Dago, I would be there right now. But to go to Vegas twice, like, oh man, that's a big ask, and I felt like I got to be in both places. It's so hard. So I empathize about what she's saying. I empathize with bachelor and bachelorette parties being expensive too. My own bachelor party is probably gonna run me a G off top, right? Just at least, right? My flight was $300. The place is going to be $300 or $400 for the weekend. I'm about to play golf. I got to eat. Like that's a G, right? I think about all that right before I ain't even touched the plane yet. Right. So I know how much money I need to put away. To be fair to my groomsmen and to think about the well, not even just groomsmen. I got, friends going too. That's like how I chose to do it. But to be fair, right? I knew that, like, all right, if we went out of the country, it's going to cost us even more bread. It's way more organization and stuff like that. If we went to a place like Miami or Vegas, whatever, it costs a lot of money. I just want to be around a bunch of black people. So I was like, yo, I want to go to D.C. that was the place that I chose. Like, I want to go to DC. So, you know, I chose something that was going to be a fun time with something that we haven't experienced on the other side of the country or whatever. It's dope. Like, to be able to have, you know, my closest 4 or 5 friends be able to be there. Like, that's cool. I didn't want to hit nobody over the head with their pockets. But, you know, everybody's money is built differently. Everybody's thoughts and dreams and stuff like that, or what they see their wedding festivities and parties to be like, is completely different too. But I feel like this person should be able to just get out of it and just be honest. Like, look, where y'all at right now in life is not where I'm at. This actually goes into what we was talking about earlier. Like, just accepting where you're at. Like, fam, I understood that, like, what I was working towards, you was already, like, you had already, I think you had your condo before then, or before you got married. Yeah. So you was already established where you was at. And people are a little bit more understanding of, like, circumstances and stuff when that becomes the case. You know? And if they not, then they not. They not really supporting you. My man's hit me, right? He playing in the NFL. He's been hurt. He said, dog, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to your bachelor party. I said, dog, it's cool. Like, that's your job. Like, if, you know, like that's how you feed your family. Like, I'm not going to get mad because you can't make it. You probably ain't going to make it to the wedding, too, because the wedding's during football season. I hope that you on a team. Right. Don't worry about my wedding. Feed your family. The wedding is just for people to celebrate. And if you're not able to celebrate, okay, it's not your fault. It's like, it's not for me. I'm doing this to give y'all time to see us. That's what the wedding is to me.
Yeah, so I'm one of the, like, I totally understand. There were certain people I didn't invite to my wedding because I knew they would want to show up for me. And I was being a good friend, like, man, don't do that. You don't belong here. like my man hit me. He was like, dog, I didn't even get an invite. I was like, dog, you don't belong in Vegas. And I had to be real with him. I was like, you live check to check. You owe me money. Like, you,
oh shit,
like, you have to you work like 60 hours a week just to rent a room. Like, you don't make no money, you know. And it's like I feel like the love is there. Like, I love you, man. Of course I want you to be there, but like, you don't belong in Vegas. And he just started laughing. He was like, that might be the realest shit anyone's ever told me.
You gotta be honest.
And it's like, because the thing is, he would have tried. Yeah. He would have tried to go, and it would have set him back.
Have you seen what that looks like?
What it looks like?
When someone goes somewhere that you know that they wasn't supposed to be there?
When someone brought, that's when I made that comment about Jeff, when it threw that little screenshot in.
About him coming in at 1 o'clock?
About my wedding?
He wasn't there yet. Jeff's balling now. Let's not play him anymore, but go ahead.
Because when I go to Vegas, I usually go with a core group of people.
Right.
We know what time it is. We know kind of what it's going to cost. We going to participate. Ain't no bullshit. Right? But for my wedding, it's different. It's like there's going to be people from all walks of life coming. And the reason we got married in Vegas is like, it's a because if we got married here, the amount of people I know, that shit would have been like $100,000. So Vegas is just far enough to where, like, if you fuck with me, you're going to be there. If you don't fuck with me, you know, maybe I'll pod with you in a few years. But, so there was 2 groups of people. We had 2 separate group chats, if you will, as far as like the Vegas stuff. Yeah. So Jonathan, as my best man, was kind of coordinating all the activities. And he was like, yo, I gave him whatever gray hair he got now is probably from this fiasco. He's like, God damn it, you know way too many fucking people. And you know way too many people who shouldn't be in Vegas. And I was laughing. He's like, man, because I'm trying to put the itinerary together because this is a long weekend and some people got money for this and some people don't want to do that. Some people don't fuck with the pool party and some people are more strip club people. Some people can't pay for a steak. And I'm like, I feel you, man. But I was like, hey, man, don't let this stress you. If they
that's easy for you to say that.
It's not like you're trying to do a guy's trip and we doing one of our regular Vegas stuff. Like, this is gonna like, everybody don't got to do everything. Everybody shouldn't be doing everything if they ain't built for it. And so he was like, you're right. He's like, you know what? I let everybody know this is where we're going to be at this time. Cause all I need to make sure is that he's good. If you got other shit to do, Vegas is a big spot. Do whatever you got to do. We'll catch up when you catch up. That went from the strip clubs to the dinners, to the pool parties, to the clubs, buying tables, everything we did. Some people were there, a lot of people weren't. and some people would filter in and out, but mostly the core people that I usually go with, we were moving congruently with each other to where
but it's still a good time. It's not like you felt like you missed something.
But I was laughing when Jeff sent that, and so I was like, oh, he was hanging with the poors that weekend. A lot of those, I was like, some of the people that came, they didn't do nothing but show up to the ceremony, and I love them for that.
And stay in somebody else's room.
Because they were doing that. Yeah, the way they built together, like, because we had we stayed at,
I wanted to save some cash, but I was like, I'm not about to just sleep with on somebody's floor just because, like, you know.
Some of them, sometimes it gotta be like that.
But
like,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna participate, but I gotta save somewhere.
Reading that group chat let me know, it reminded me of how disconnected I was, because half of those people, I now know them now. Like Nixon was in there, Debo was in there. Some other dude, I don't even know who the hell he was. And then I'm getting like updates like, hey, I'm on my way back to the room. It's like 3 a.m. I'm like, dog, when I seen that, I was like, oh, I wasn't ready for that. I did that last weekend. I can't do that again.
Yeah, so it was, yeah.
You had a good time.
Those people, of course, I had a great time, but those people that couldn't participate and they only saw me at that. But then I also had a big Airbnb that we did like a big barbecue at, and that's where we went after the ceremony. Instead of going out, like, let's just have a barbecue on one, because it was a long weekend, and that's where the girls were staying, and it was like dope, big ass spot, big ass backyard, pool house, stuff like that. So that was obviously for the free.
Yeah,
you know, we paid for all the meat and the drinks and stuff, and yeah. But a lot of those people, I was like, all right, y'all want to come, y'all can come. But there was that one specific dude. I was like, nah, man, you can't go. Like, I know your situation too much.
And then sometimes you just have to have that conversation. So like how I would, word it to this person. If you can't make it, cool. They're not going to be mad forever. Like, they may be mad in the moment, because women, I feel like, will probably take that a little differently than men will. But, and that's just, the law of the land. Because and I hate that we don't admit this separation, but there are just certain things that men just don't give a shit about congruently, no matter what race you are. You know what I mean? There's just certain shit that we just like, yo, it's not worth the fight. Right? But for women, I can see that being problematic because it means something. They, what'd you give your groomsmen as gifts?
Damn, what did I? So
you see what I mean?
Everyone got like a personalized letter, and then, damn, what did I give everybody? I didn't want
your wife probably will remember if you called her when she got her her bachelorettes.
It was a letter and something. It was more focused. I remember the letter part because that was more. I knew that was people would care about because I've been in groomsmen hella times. I got hella flasks, hella like random shit.
That flask
and I'm like, dog, I don't need another one.
Yeah, I'm not giving out no flask, man. Hell nah. But
maybe it was a glass. Like a drinking glass.
Oh, okay. Because you were like this. I'm like, yo, you giving out a piece of glass. Like, what's
meth. Up? Have a good time.
Oh, man. So, all right, hit my hand claps. Because I thought we was going to get up out of here, but I forgot. Like, this is a really important segment to me.
My brother got married in Hawaii.
Who?
My older brother.
Oh, I was like, yo, the disconnect is really there then, man. Like, wait a minute.
He got married in Hawaii in 2013, and I wasn't there yet. And I'm like, damn, I gotta go to Hawaii. And I was like, damn, I gotta show up. And I'm gonna make it happen. But see, you gotta find ways where you can save. I didn't have to pay for the room because I already got family out there. I just gotta get this plane ticket, a small stack of ones for my man at the strip club. And oh no, that was in Vegas because I went to his bachelor party too. But he got married in Hawaii, and he had he didn't have to get a tux or nothing. He just had a button up, and we were on a beach.
Right. He's like, I go to Ross.
We all got to buy Vans. I was like, no, I already had my outfit. I was like, damn, I don't even got to go shopping, but I got to go buy these Vans, like white people Vans that I'm not gonna wear.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so I bought them with to go return them after the wedding. Because I was like, hey,
it's hard to return shoes, dog.
Nah, she did it. She made it happen.
No, okay.
It was
like clean them off. Huh?
It was like $40 that I didn't want to give up for some Vans. But I wore them, and then they all looked at me in disgust, like this hood booger. Every single time he got to do something. So they knew my plan, and they spent the whole week trying to fuck my shoes up at the beach and everything. And you could see the video when I'm walking real briskly. Stepping on the sand, I'm like, all right, don't sink. As soon as that wedding ended, shoes came off, sandals came on, I clapped them bitches up, got them returned. I don't know what my point was. The point was,
It was a great story.
it was $40 I needed.
You suck at punchlines at the end of the stories, though. That's crazy, though. But because the story be great, I'm like, all right, it's still funny. Like the way you tell it is like there's more coming. Shows to watch. Snowfall's back on TV. You watch Snowfall?
Yes, sir.
You caught up?
Yep.
So if you are not caught up on Snowfall, skim ahead now. Listen, I don't know how I feel about this
I
one.
wish we would have talked about this earlier because the first two episodes were great. The third one,
Yeah,
it wasn't terrible, but
I think like it's that point in this show, right, where first of all, Franklin's barber that he's got. Did you see the third episode? How clean his cut was? I say, yo, cuts
Make a
weren't
little
that clean
money,
in the
man.
'80s, man. They didn't even have Andis like that back then. Like the Andis wasn't Andis yet. It was wall.
y'all
It
still
was
using the
wall.
wall.
Yeah, it was
Black
wall.
people using walls. It's crazy. Like I use the wall. It's like it's cheaper. I can get away with it.
Oh man. But Snowfall, man, like this last episode, like it was all right, man. I just feel like it's at this point in the show now where like they just going to start killing off main characters, and then if that's the case, it loses its sting.
I think that's what I was wondering. I was like, yo, how much of a time gap between last season and now are they doing? Because it seemed a little like
he knows his father is dead.
Everybody
I was like,
doing stuff?
I didn't know that his dad. I didn't know that he knew his dad was dead yet because he was just like pigeonholed somewhere.
And then, but I think it just maybe just who we are as people because he's already on top.
Yeah.
I think we enjoy the come up, watching the come up of someone.
Yeah.
When he's still getting it in the mud. Now it's like, come on, dog. You see that room he had?
He walking around with a pistol now. So he got his full confidence in.
He had that room with all the money stash. It's like, oh, you already here. You said you was focused on real estate. And it's like, yeah.
Hey, you think my man got HIV?
Who?
What's his name? Is it Sweet Pea? What's his name?
Leon?
No, the dude that keep coughing.
Oh, Peaches.
Peaches, I knew. See, how you going to Leon from Sweet Pea?
No, because I thought you were trying to say.
Peaches keeps talking about having this cold, and I swear in the show timeline, it's been 3 weeks. Like, dog, I feel like he may be sick or something like that.
I think they're gonna because it's the 80s. I think they're gonna try to introduce like everything that's going on in life in the time frame back then.
And they chose Peaches, the dude that doesn't talk to women in the whole show.
I mean, he be out here. He be getting the leftovers. He be around.
They don't show that.
I'm just saying.
We're just assuming that
what's
because we
happening.
know what happens. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all in all, it's still a great show.
Yeah.
But 5 seasons, it could be time where it starts declining.
That's how I felt about The Flash. They started killing off main characters, and I started reading it, and they was quitting. I was like, yeah, that's it.
Go talk to G about it. That's the only other person I know.
He still
watches
watches
that show. Yeah.
Damn, I can't.
He just discovered it, so he's probably in whatever season. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe he's watching the same shit over and over.
It's getting watered down. It's just a main villain. There's a main guy that they're chasing, but then they still saving the world in between. Like little things. I was like, all right, I'm picking up on this formula. Like I don't need for me to know where the writers are at. I'm good. But with Snowfall, for you guys who don't know, it's about this guy Franklin's last name is Saint.
Yeah, it's loosely based on the real Freeway Rick Ross. That's who he's supposed to be.
Which always throws me off too, because the guy who plays Franklin is really British.
Yeah, man.
And so the way he be getting into his
little
voice,
South Central accent is
it's pretty good. like, and I always think about that because I can't imitate like a British accent that well. So like this guy, he's really into his acting. But yeah, it's loosely based, like he said, on Freeway Rick Ross, but. It takes place in the 80s.
Crack to L.A.
He makes he's on this rise, and like Lex said, we do champion the rise. You know what I mean? Like when people are in their grind versus like when they've already made it, and maybe that might be the case for me. Kanye Doc, you have some very harsh takes.
Harsh?
Yeah, they're pretty harsh criticisms.
I know I can't be the only one that feels this way.
No. You know what? Well, go ahead. Tell how you feel first, and then we can get into it.
So, episode 3 wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
That's where you going to start?
Boy, I don't know, because we haven't talked about it at all.
Not at all.
Okay, well, then we'll just, all my feelings from episode 1. It was as good as everybody was telling me. I champion them for holding on to the footage this long because it could have been really easy in like 06, 07 to put this out and it wouldn't have hit the same.
Right.
Because he was still in the middle of his run and it would have been a nice little money grab, I guess. But something about like 15, 20 years and because we got to see, I was late to the Kanye train. I'll be honest. I wasn't a day one.
He didn't fit the mold of who you would like, listen to in that
shoot
camp.
him up, bang, bang.
Yeah.
You know, I was
Bleak,
the way they were.
them,
Yeah,
that
was me. Like I appreciated the
Petey
beats.
Petey.
Exactly how they treated him in episode 1. Like I was.
That's how you treated
Like
him in your household.
Oh yeah, these beats are fire, but I'm not there. I'm not there yet. And even when College Dropout came out, as good as it was, I was like, I didn't appreciate it until a little later. I think it wasn't until graduation where I was like, oh, he ain't going nowhere. And that's crazy to say, like, it took that long. But I think at that 07, 08, the shift in how hip hop was happening to where I was becoming a little more appreciative of stuff that I probably wouldn't have been before. Not that I didn't rock with him at all. It's just like, it's cool. Like, I like it. Like, when he beat 50 in that sales battle, like, that surprised the shit out of me. Now, he should have, because the albums that were going up, his album was clearly better.
Right.
But just the fact that I'm like, nah, there's no way. And it might have been the first time I lost a bet on some shit like that. But, yeah, for me, seeing like the 98 stuff up until that point, I was like, oh, this is great. Like, it's good to see. Gets you emotional. It gets you... I would say inspired. And it also lets you know nothing about right now is surprising. Like, he was who he was the whole time. And you hear people say that, like, oh, Kanye been Kanye forever. Like, this ain't nothing new. But to see the footage of it that backs it up. Episode 2 was great. And then that's when I had heard, I was like, man, because at the end of episode 2, the first episode was what, like 98 to like 03. Second episode was like 02 to 05, 06. And then all of a sudden, one episode is going to be current. Like,
there's a gap.
They ran out of footage or some shit. They must have had a falling out, whatever. And he explains it.
And they did have a falling out.
And they did. And man, but I didn't think he was going to get the newer footage that he actually got when he's out and wherever.
Which saved it.
Yeah, it does save it. And then you can kind of see him turning into these episodes like live. And I'm like, damn, like that shit is crazy. I also like to see, I like that Kanye still makes the music the way he does, where he just goes in there and starts meh, 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 and then comes back later.
Yeah, and doesn't.
And then you hear people like Pusha T be like, I only rap on drums. I have no idea what this is going to sound like. And then all of a sudden my album's done, I listen to it and it just makes sense. That would be fucking terrifying if I was a rapper. Because obviously the beat might talk to you a certain way and you're just going to give me drums and then you're going to craft around it. Like, I think that's pretty cool. But just the way he believed in himself and, you know, the way his mom talked to him, like, I can understand why you're that close and why all this stuff like is happening. But it's clear because he was Kanye the whole time that losing his mom, Donna was the only one that was stopping what's happening now, was the only person stopping it from getting to that point, in my opinion. And so, yeah, after the third episode, and I guess he did it a couple times in each episode, the hot take that you're referring to is the worst part about this documentary is Cootie. And you were like, yo, that's fucking crazy. What are you talking about?
But I get what you're saying. That's what I said. I feel you. Like, when I listen, how I was watching the doc was hearing Cootie in the background, but amazed by the footage. So the footage was overtook like the bad commentary that he was giving and then break it off into his family life. I get why he broke off into his family life, though. He's explaining to you in the doc why I don't have footage during that time.
So I didn't say the documentary was bad by any means. I just said the worst part.
No,
so
you said him. I just said like
the worst part of this great documentary was him. His narrating voice was trash. And it's like, dog, we're not watching this for you. I understand you're a part of this story, But I don't need a 10-minute segment about what's going on in your life. You can just tell us, hey, we had a falling out, this and that. But you got your full on footage of like you're not. I was like, come on, man. And then at the end too.
But it lends credence to how Ye changed.
No, I get that.
No,
he's an
'cause, like,
integral part of the story.
Yeah, because it shows like how he changed, like in regards to like he just transcended, right? He was above them at some point. You seen how I am. I'm a god, and I was like, okay, like that would make. Like with all the things that happened,
he wanted to punch him in the fucking face for not remembering
Oh, he kept
his name.
calling. He kept
I'm
doing
just
it.
fucking with him.
No, he wasn't.
Hennessy gonna be the death of me.
Hey, that was
kind
awkward.
of foresight because Hennessy started the Taylor Swift shit too.
That part right there. That got me. I was like, damn, I wouldn't know how to rebound. Like if somebody called me Lex and just kept saying it. Like dog, you know how bad you got to be like. I mean, like how bad you have to be like in bad standing with me to keep messing that up and calling me Lex. Like that would piss me off.
Yeah, man.
Somebody call you Carl? Like, fan, do I look like a
It's on site.
Don't look at my legs.
Ain't no way.
And you got some shorts like these. I know your wife bought you some.
I do. That I do.
Oh man, my dad got some too. His legs don't fill him in that good, but still, man, you know, he'd be all right. You got long legs, so that's cool. Hey, they're long legs. But yeah, so the Ye doc, I enjoyed it thoroughly. It actually got me down the memory lane of like,
well, yeah, because that's your guy.
Yeah, that's my guy. But it you know, I sparked that conversation in the group chat like, yo, when did I first hear Ye? And I started thinking like, did him and Mos have a song before College Dropout that came out, or him and any other artist?
No,
like
all
where
them
he was
songs.
featured?
He was like he had 2 words like and wait hella long before. He just never got to record them.
But were they released previously?
Not to my knowledge, but that's what I'm saying. That's where me being late might be.
That's where my question was to y'all. I was like, yo, how did we know about music back then?
The song I sent you then, you said, I've never heard this. Or I didn't even realize.
I didn't hear it then.
Yeah.
I've heard it before, but I didn't hear it then. And it's not my favorite song on the Blueprint.
No, it's not.
So like,
and then they actually show him making that song in episode 1.
That's why like when I listened, I was like, this is not when I first heard Ye. I think I actually heard him on Def Poetry first because my mom had HBO.
Yeah, I never saw that.
Yeah, I watched that. Like I watched it live, and then he came out with All Falls Down, and he put that verse on there, and I was like, oh shit, like this is dope. And I feel like that was the first time I had seen Ye. At that time period. And that's when I started thinking like, yo, when did we start see like when did you hear about artists? Now you hear about artists, you know, based off of social media,
unsigned hype,
SoundCloud and all that. And you said Napster, but I was like, yo, I had to know this song first, or maybe it would give me all the features of like that rapper and plus the
if
songs
you just
that they
type
had.
in an artist, a whole bunch of stuff will come up. So if I found somebody I like, that's what I would do. I was like, I don't know none of the songs. Let me just type their name in and I'll put together a bunch of stuff. And I was making random mixes or whatever. And yeah, if it wasn't in a magazine, because Google wasn't really a thing yet.
Right.
And, you know, obviously the streaming is one thing. But that's why a cosign mattered so much. That's why him being featured on a Jay-Z album meant so much, even if the song was kind of mid or whatever, just because like, oh, everybody's going to hear this. And some people might be like, oh, who is this dude? And then look in further. But then if you're in New York or you're on the East Coast, like people were hearing about Kanye for years because of the beats and stuff like that. And if you weren't buying music and opening to see the credits of who was producing what, then you had no idea who it was. Like, oh, he did, you know, because the first Kanye beat I remember hearing was The Truth. Beanie Siegel. And that's 99.
Yeah.
But I don't know Kanye West.
No one did.
I don't know Kanye West until Blueprint 2. And even then, because the song was what it was, that wasn't my favorite album anyway. Yeah. I kind of shrugged it off. I didn't come back to it. So it wasn't until Through the Wire come out.
And I didn't like that song that much back then.
I liked it, even though I was like, I didn't love it. But then I think seeing the footage behind it later, you're like, oh man, the way that came together is fucking crazy.
No, yeah, and it gets you to appreciate it more. You know, and I was telling you this too, and this actually goes into what we talked about in the early part of the episode. Yo, man, like, if you have a mental health problem, I'll empathize with that. And it's hard for people to recognize and say it, but like, fam, like, we got to have a conversation. And so I empathize with Ye, and y'all say like, oh, he still do crazy shit. Yeah, he does, bro. But, you know, the fact that he lost his mom and seeing how he interacted with her, he took her everywhere with him, you know, and she was just so supportive of him. She spoke life into him when he was having hard times. Like, no one else can get through to that man like that. She
knew all his raps.
She can get him to hug. I've been telling y'all this. Y'all think I'm bullshitting, but she can get him to hug Pete Davidson if she needed to.
Yeah, no, that would have never, none of that would ever happen if she was around. And yeah, so I think, you know, she left this whole thing. She's like, man, I'm not even mad at Kanye no more. I just want to hug him.
Who's she?
My wife.
Yeah.
She's watching it. She's just like,
and it does that.
And so, you know, there's a reason his albums came back on the Billboard this week.
And it does that. Oh no, I was playing this shit right now. Like, as if like it just came out. Like, dog, I was like, and I know all them shits word for word. Like he is my guy. That was another thing I asked y'all. Like, what current album in the last 10 years can you sing word for word?
Yeah, there's albums that I always knew word for word that I probably don't know word for word right now. Currently,
you probably jump in every other.
I can jump in, and I'll do that, but like just off the top, just rap this real quick. No, I don't.
I'll mess up a word here and there.
No.
So that's why when rappers like legacy acts forget they lyrics, I'm like, yo, they're allowed to, because I used to know it too.
Nah, but if you're performing it.
Oh, we didn't see why we doing this so late.
If you perform it every night, there's no reason Nas should
fired up. It's too late.
The first time I saw Nas, like, how do you forget your biggest song,
bro? It happens.
Oh, fuck that.
It's like I forget some of my raps. You know all your raps word for word still?
No,
that's what I'm saying. No, I forget some of my raps. I only know a few stanzas. Let's get out of here, man.
But we're not performing them. That's my point.
I know, man.
If I was on a 50-city tour. Come on, dog.
Let's get out of here, man, because I already know we're not going to agree, man. I can see it now. Listen, let's get to these 3 cheers. Oh, man. So, you want to hear my clap?
Oh, I was about to play the song. I was like,
he done forgot how, 1 week going, he done forgot everything. I used to make that mistake too. Trust me. And that's when he come back in and still clapping. I'm gonna give a 3 cheers out to my future mother-in-law, Tina. She has a birthday today, so happy birthday to Tina. I saw her yesterday. Didn't even mention it to me. She's, you know, I'm probably the same way though. Like, you know, birthdays, you don't try to like celebrate them, you know, all the time, or you don't want people to remind you that you're getting old. But happy birthday to Tina. Thank you. I appreciate you, and thank you for your support. Thank you for, you know, helping out, watching, you know, my daughter and all the kids actually. So, you know, that doesn't go unnoticed.
Cool, man. I want 3 cheers. I want to 3 cheers the people of Ukraine. I think a lot of people do. I want to 3 cheers specifically the people in Russia that ain't got nothing to do with this.
And are telling you that we don't.
Because right now, what's about to happen over there, I mean, because me as Americans, we get affected the way we get affected or all, but like their economy is about to implode, and for a lot of people it's not going to mean nothing, but there's a lot of people over there that ain't got no beef, don't want no smoke, they just regular folk, and their whole life is about to be upside down, if it's not upside down already.
It's going to take years to fix.
I haven't followed, you know, I'm not the big global politic guy. I don't really know exactly step for step what's going on or what all that, but just knowing the economic consequences that come with this.
No imports.
I think their money is already like in the toilet, and it's gonna go back to them times where people would have to bring a wheelbarrow full of money just to get a bag of bread, and people leave the money and take the wheelbarrow because it's worth more. And yeah, that shit can't be fun. Shout out to anybody who was trying to get out and ain't made it out yet. Like, hold on. Like, I don't even know what, you know, currently it's an ongoing situation.
That's what I'm saying. War is avoidable, bro. Like, you know, a lot of people don't like, you know, the fact that we not intervening, but it's like, fam, if we do and the other parties involved, you know, get involved, or that are loosely associated get involved, it's not good for the world, right? So, I mean, you hurt the pockets. That hurts more than anything. You know what's crazy? What you're talking about?
Yeah, but it lines the pockets of certain individuals that can control that shit. Just like that picture I put in the chat. Like, there's several companies that are like, come on, y'all, let's jump up in here. I know y'all need some weapons. I know y'all need this and that. Like,
That shit
you
gonna
know,
happen.
I got
It's gonna
you.
happen regardless.
Well, yeah, because
It's been happening for years.
it's been super, and and I live in a pretty big military neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it's been real extra red, white, and blue right now. I'm like, dog, this ain't even us. Like, we ain't even. They just ready to jump.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens. Shout out to them though. We good?
Yeah, man. You in control. Oh man. Let's get up out of here. We out of here, y'all.